We're on. I don't know what to say. I think we're
Yeah.
both a bit like ugh today.
Yeah, today's a bit of a day. I just had I was telling you off record, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just had a bath, and I don't really take baths that often, but I have a sore back, so I'm like, I'll have a bath, and whatever. I made it really hot, and I have got out of the bath to feel like I'm drugged, because it's it fucks you up.
I don't do baths.
When you have too hot of a shower, and you're just like, what day is it? That's what it feels like. It's just oh, I was sweating in the bath. It did help my back though. So I've got a sore lower back too, which is
mine's been stuffed lately.
I wake up in the morning and I'm just oh, I'm in pain.
Yeah, mine gets me hurts right down my leg. Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, it's not a good time
I've
at all.
I've had to stand up a lot at work because my back's been absolutely cactus.
Yeah, right. Not ideal. See, I'm a bit out of it today. I'm not gonna completely lie. Last week when I was going on about my bald spot. Yeah, well, I've been fucking self-conscious about it all week. But I have this new stuff, and it's because I don't like using hair gel because I don't like the way it makes your hair feel it makes you feel greasy and yuck and ugh. So I've got this stuff that's a styling powder, and you put it in your hair, and then you just does it, and it makes it matte and shit. But it's super I don't know what the word is. Pliable? Maybe that's not the right word. But it just makes your hair hella. You can style it you can do it all day. You can move it around and it's fine. It stays in place. But it doesn't leave your hair all grimy, and it makes your hair look fuller. So in the bits, I just put extra, and now it looks fine. Other than last week, because I was real worried about it.
I can't say I really noticed until you pointed it out. I've got the yawns on now. As soon as we press record, I've not stopped yawning.
Yeah. Also, I was wearing that exact hoodie about 10 minutes ago. So glad I took that off before we got on this call because
looks like I'm wearing a muumuu.
I mean, an hoodie is kind of a muumuu.
Yeah, I guess
in a sense,
is.
It's just like a giant dress.
Yeah, this one's not an hoodie. This one's a plush, oversized hoodie.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. But I mean, I have both. I have one of those chrome ones, and I have a Star Wars hoodie, and it's got Grogu on it. So I mean, I have an hoodie and I have a plush, oversized hoodie.
Yeah, I've just
both do the same thing. I love them. They are warm. I usually wear them really. If I wake up early in the morning, bitch, I'm putting that shit on while I have my breakfast, and it's the best. But I'm not gonna lie, I overheat really easily, and I get hot in them fast, and I'm like, this has got to come off now.
Yeah, I don't wear it often. This might be a bit of a stretch tonight. Sitting here talking.
Ray will be stripping off.
Cold out in the. I've got nothing on underneath it.
Yeah, I usually.
I can't do t-shirts or anything underneath it.
Sometimes I do a shirt underneath them, but if I'm wearing them, I'm not wearing pants.
I've got pants on.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear pants with them. Nah, see, I wouldn't wear pants with them because I'm just and then I get hot, and then I end up just taking it off and then putting the hoodie on just my legs.
Yeah, right.
I'll use it as basically a blanket. So what's the fucking point? But I like them. I am not into the people that go out in public in them. Don't do that.
I would never go in public in it.
Oh my god! When I used to work at Woolies,
I'm not a maniac.
I would see the amount of people I'd see on a cold winter's night just come in an hoodie, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? Get in your home." It's not okay to be just walking around in that. A, it looks ridiculous, and B, I wouldn't want to get that shit dirty. I'm putting that thing in the washing machine. You know how long that takes to dry?
Yeah, it feels like a hassle to have to wash.
I've washed mine once, and it took days to dry. Days.
Do you have a dryer?
No.
Oh.
I think they're too expensive, and I'm always scared they're going to catch on fire.
Yeah, right.
They can. Dryers can catch on fire.
Yeah, if you don't clean them out properly.
Exactly. So I've just
Are you saying
decided
you wouldn't clean it out properly?
they're so expensive, and also I'm very scared that things are going to shrink. You hear horror stories about things going in the dryer and then they come out tiny, and it's like, well, there goes my favorite shirt because it doesn't fit me anymore.
I don't do clothes in there, but we put like sheets and blankets and whatnot.
Yeah, so then it's like nice and toasty. Because drying sheets and stuff it's the shits. A fitted sheet, drying that in wintertime.
Yeah, that's why you need the dryer.
Yeah, I haven't really got room to put a dryer in my house.
Okay.
Unless you have one of those, like, as you can get the dryers and the washing machines that, like, sit on top of one another? Yeah. I guess I could get one of those, but I'm not going to. It's expensive.
No. The best thing we ever did around here, I don't know if you've noticed it, I'm sure you have when you've been over here.
Probably haven't.
Is in our laundry, we put one of the, you know how you get the wall washing lines that flip up in small backyards?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, we put that in our laundry. On the wall in our laundry. So instead of having clothes horse...
I'm trying to visualize the laundry in your home.
It's next to the toilet.
Oh, yeah, right, because that's where you wash your hands. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, put one of them on the wall because it's like one of the only rooms in our house that gets like actual sunlight because of how our house is situated. So we put it in there. Instead of having clothes horses around the place, we've got a clothesline that we can just fold up and fold back down. It's perfect.
Right. I mean, it doesn't help that you got a big, like, fuck-off tree in your front yard too. Like a big-ass tree that hangs over your house.
More towards the back.
Yeah, right. But I mean, still.
It goes across us, yeah. It's pretty well placed house to not get any direct sunlight in summer.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Although your house gets pretty toasty.
Yeah.
I was hot.
Yeah. But that's just because it's hot,
Yeah, I guess so. I was going to say something then. I can't remember what it was. I don't know.
Guess what me and your bestie did on the weekend?
She messaged me, so
Sunday.
I know what you did. Oh.
No, on Sunday.
That. Oh, then I don't know.
We went to the farmer's market.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
We went to the farmer's market.
You've crossed the line of you're just accepting your death at this stage.
It was the smells there were so nice.
Fucking say to me that it was fun. Don't you dare say to me that it was fun.
No, I didn't say it was fun. I said it smelled nice.
I feel like you're gonna say more.
No, it just smelled really nice. We just walked around, had a look. We were like, maybe it's cheaper than going to Coles or Woolies. But it's not. At all. But
how far did you have to drive to get to this market?
Oh, it was at like the showgrounds. They do it every Sunday.
I don't know how far that is from your home.
Oh, like 25 minutes, half an hour.
Ooh.
Not even.
Still.
It was a nice morning. We went for a walk around there.
Oh my God. You fucking Raylene and Margaret went for a nice stroll at the farmer's market. Did you get anything?
We got some milk.
What the fuck?
Like flavored milk because we were thirsty.
Thought that this story was worth telling on the fucking podcast if we went to the farmer's market and we got some milk. What the fuck?
I thought you'd find it funny that it's such an old thing to do.
Well, correct.
I tell you what,
Don't you try to sell me on the fucking farmer's market.
I wasn't. I was saying that there's a definite type of person that goes to farmers markets. I don't think I'm there yet, but there's definitely a lot of man sandals getting around.
Oh yeah, there would
and I'm not talking cool Birkenstock man sandals. I'm talking Velcro strap man sandals. Like, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and it's not a.
But
Ooh.
on Saturday, we one of my best friends came over with his partner, and we sort of hung out for the day. And the end of it, you obviously got a picture from your bestie of me playing the coin machine.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the bloody. I was spewing because bloody money's tight at the moment. Everyone's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And I pressed the wrong button when we went to the arcade, thinking I was getting $50. No, I pressed the wrong button and got $100.
Oh, I thought you were
like,
going to say 500. I was like, oh my God.
No.
Jesus.
So but that's all right. We played the coin machine. We had a good time. Earlier in the day, we'd gone to a mini golf place around the corner from us, and we played mini golf. That was quite fun as well.
I've played mini golf in years.
Yeah, there's a new one around the corner from us. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's indoors as well, so even better.
Yeah.
But you'll love this. So we went out to Norwood to the arcade out there. Try a different arcade this time.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same type of arcade that I was frequenting in Perth.
Oh yes.
And so on the way back from Norwood, so it's probably, I want to say it's about max 35-minute drive from Norwood to my house. So they'd come here because they live up in the hills. So they'd come here, and we went in your bestie's car to golf, and then we're like, let's go to the arcade. So we went across to Norwood, and then on the way back, your bestie's like, oh, it's pretty much dinner time. So what do you want for dinner? Should we just get like pizza on the way back? And we'll order it on our way back. We'll pull in and we'll pick it up. And it was at like 5:30 we were leaving. So it was going to be an early-ish dinner. And we started driving off, and I'm like, I'm not sure that I want pizza for dinner. So I'm like, what about if we get like schnitzel somewhere? Can't go wrong with a schnitzel. And then my mate was like, we start driving through the city, and my mate goes, oh, there's this really good like Mongolian barbecue place that's like all you can eat, just the other side of the city. I'm like, perfect, let's go there. I could definitely go some Mongolian food at the moment. So he calls up and he's like, oh, do you reckon we could get a table in like 20 minutes? And they're like, no, sorry, we're all booked up. No reservations. Like, nah. Okay, no worries. So we like go somewhere else. We come up with another idea. Let's go there. No, can't get a table there either. So we can't go there. Then we find this dumpling place on Tapley's Hill Road near the airport. We're like, okay, dumplings it is. Go there. They've got 3 tables in there, all booked up.
Oh my God.
So we're like, oh, damn it. So I'm like, all right, let's go. There's a pizza bar around the corner near the airport that has the best schnitzels, and we can sit in there. Let's just go there. Couldn't get a park around there.
Oh my God.
So we drove around for an hour and 40 minutes. Do you know what we ended up doing?
Pizza.
Getting pizza on the way home.
You got pizza? Oh my fucking God.
Suggested. We could have saved ourselves an hour and a half.
I would have been pissed in that situation. I would have been so fucking mad. Because I would have just got hangry, and I would have just been like, I don't care if we eat fucking something from Woolworths at this stage. Just get me food.
It wasn't. We were like, when we were all started to talk about it, we weren't really overly hungry because they'd had a late lunch and me and your bestie had we had an early lunch because someone in this house, it was a kid-free weekend, but someone in this house woke up at 4:30 and decided she was going to get some work done. So went and logged onto her laptop. So we had breakfast at like 5 a.m. because she woke up.
Fuck that. On a Saturday? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So she, sat up and did work, and I watched TV in bed, and then she cooked us breakfast.
No.
To be fair, when she cooked us breakfast, we had apple pie, but to be fair, that's like jam on toast, really.
What? Why is dessert?
We were going to have it for dessert on Friday night, but then the person that woke up at 4:30 fell asleep early.
Well, it basically still is dessert at that fucking time. You had dinner like 2 hours before that.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? Started off your fucking day with apple pie. Did you have ice cream or whipped cream on it?
No, dollop cream.
I mean, it's still cream.
Yeah.
At 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Was it delicious?
Of course it was. It was apple pie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Do you want to do the question bullshit so we can do that before we forget?
297 is the number.
Oh. That's the temperature that my bath was at before. 297
temperature
degrees.
that I'm feeling right now.
90. Wait, wasn't there a boy band called 97 Degrees?
Yes.
I don't know. There was?
Yeah. Yeah, Ronan Keating, I think.
Yeah. Yeah?
Yep.
Sure. Was it 97 degrees or was it something else? 97
It might have
degrees.
been 94 or 96.
97. No.
96? 94.
98. Okay, never mind.
98.
I was one off.
Okay, so 297 is what's one thing your parents did right and what's one thing you'd wish they'd done differently?
I don't know how fucking deep you want me to get with this question, but I will. I would say the one thing that my parents did right was what did they do right? They always made me I will say that we weren't the richest family in the world by any stretch. We're probably on the lower ends now that I really think about it. But they always made sure that us kids never went without. Do you know what I mean? Like, not saying we were spoiled because we weren't, but we always had shit. So there's that. What's one thing my parents did? What was it?
What you wish they did differently?
Well, I would probably say I wish my dad didn't fucking abuse me. That would probably be good. But other than that,
it's such a weird thing to say in like a sarcastic voice.
But like, you know, it's called dealing with trauma.
Yeah.
But you know, other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I wish they didn't get rid of my red socks. Like, what the fuck? Like, that would probably be my biggest fucking thing that I wish my dad didn't do me. My mum didn't do that though, so shout out Mum and Nicole.
One thing that my parents did well. I've always been quite independent, so they've probably done that well. I haven't been reliant on anybody really. Well, at times I have been, but like, you know what I mean? I've been able to be out of home really since I was about 17 and be okay. So I guess that's a good thing. And one thing I wish that they did differently is that I wish when little jerk me was being a little jerk at 16 and being like, I don't want to go to school, I'm going to drop out. I wish they had just like smashed me in the mouth and gone, no, just go to school, you little fuck.
I lived with my dad as a teenager, and if I said I didn't want to go to school, he was like, whatever. Yeah. I wish that he did not do that. I still finished school, I will say that, but I fucking hated it, and I never went.
I didn't finish school, and I wish my parents had have
It's
made
their
me.
fault. That's right.
No, it's
No.
not theirs at all. It was definitely mine, but yeah, I
Um,
guess it's more
s-
my fault.
s-
But
speaking of
I wish they had
parents,
just like corporally punished me
sure.
to do it.
Speaking of
Yeah.
parents, do we want to take a bit of a nosedive this week into how my mum texted me, like we did a few weeks ago? Because
Did you ask her last week? You were going to text her about off. I'm not saying the word because your bestie reckons you're getting quite annoyed that I keep talking about it.
I don't know what you're referring to.
One Tree Hill.
Oh, no, I didn't actually. I forgot about it, to be honest.
Ah.
But on Tuesday, I had finished work and I was like, I'll go and see mum at her work and see what she's up to and whatever. So I went in and I was like, I don't know where she is. Maybe she's on her break. And I said, are you not at work? And she said, no, I'm home. And I said, are you sick? She said, no. I said, why are you home from work then? And then she goes, because I'm having a sick day. And I said, so you're not sick? And she goes, yes. And I was like, what? I said, are you sick or are you at home? And she wrote, I'm at home sick. And I'm like, so why did the fuck when I asked you if you were sick, you tell me you were, like, you said no. And she's like, okay, well, are you coming over? And I said, no, you're sick. Conversation just ended. She's so fucking stupid. I love her, but she's stupid. She just doesn't understand what she's saying. She just the randomest shit, and she never knows how to spell. Bless her heart. But yeah, what a conversation
Bless
that is to
her.
have at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And my mum doesn't drink, by the way. I should point that out. My mum doesn't drink at all. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with her, but she's fine now, I guess. But I do got to ask mum about One Tree Hill. I forgot.
Yeah. That's what I actually watched while your bestie was working away at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning.
Big shock horror there. Big shock horror.
It was a good time. Yeah. I feel like earlier in the week I had all this like stuff that I wanted to talk about, but now I'm like just like, ugh.
Today is a bit of a weird week for me. What's the date? The 29th. So last week it was my grandpa's birthday. We lost my grandpa the end of 2021. So what's that? 3 years in December since he passed away. And I don't know why I had a bit of a weird situation when my parents got divorced. I was like 11, 12, and I lived with my dad and my grandpa, like his dad. Like we all lived together, and my dad absent. We'll just put it that way. So my grandpa was really more like my dad. Like he was the one who made sure I was. He made sure I was in check and I was doing all right. So when we lost my grandpa, it just felt a little bit like because I don't speak with my dad or anything like that. It's very much just like I've lost my dad in a sense. So it's always a bit tough around his birthday because his birthday was on the 24th of May. So it's always a bit tough around this time of year because like it's weird. I don't know how much death you've dealt with in your life of like really close family members or friends or whatever. But like for me, it I don't know how to explain this without just it sounding a bit, I don't know if it's going to make any sense, but like that feeling that you have when you lose someone doesn't really like necessarily like go away. Like it's always kind of like lingers. Do you know what I mean? Like, and something can just randomly trigger you. And I don't know why. I didn't really feel it on his birthday, but today of all days, I've just felt a little bit like, I don't know how many people believe in this shit, but like I felt him around me. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt his like presence kind of lingering. And I don't know why. Just a lot of little things have happened today that like reminded me of him. And it wasn't necessarily like a sad feeling. It was just like I just felt him by. I lost my grandpa to dementia. I don't know. Have you ever dealt with someone with dementia? It is not fucking easy. It's a horrible thing to watch. He was like, he was fine in a sense, and then it's just like a gradual thing of like boop boop boop, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until they can't like do anything. By the end, like my grandpa couldn't like poop and without help, and like, you know what I mean, like he couldn't eat and stuff. He was like basically like a vegetable, and like I was not not happy that he died, but you know what I mean. I was just like, well, what kind of a life is that? Dementia is what a disease that is. It's a doozy, because they just forget random things, but remember, my grandpa could remember things from like 30 years ago like they happened yesterday, but he couldn't remember what he ate like 5 minutes ago. And then like he forgot all of us, and like it just went down the list. Like I was the first grandkid that he forgot, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And then he was in a home and whatever like that. But I don't know why I felt his presence so much today. Even like talking about him now, I can like feel him. Like, and like I don't. When I woke up this morning, I went on my phone. I know, big shock. But I like, you know, when you swipe up on an iPhone and like you do the little search thing, and sometimes it comes up with your contacts if you put in like a letter. For some reason, I accidentally had hit P, and he was under par in my phone, and he still is in my phone. And he come up on my phone today, and I like seen his number and that, and I was like, oh shit, what the hell? Like, I don't even know why I have his number still in my phone, to be completely honest. Like, but yeah, just very just a weird, just I don't know, not weird, that's not the right word, but just like a vibe of just, it's just an odd feeling when because I've never really dealt with that much death in my life. Like, it's like as in like immediate family, like he's really the only one. It's a bit weird. I don't know how much death you've dealt with. Do you think about death a lot? Because I fucking do. It's awful.
I don't think about it a lot, but since becoming a parent, I'm scared of it more.
Ooh, yeah, I could imagine.
I don't
scared
think about
of
it
you
often.
dying, or scared of your child dying?
No, both, but more like conscious of my mortality, knowing what he'd have to go through.
Yeah. It's weird.
But yeah, I lost my nan, I've lost my godmother. I lost my but my nan was the big one. She was I lived with her for a long time of my teens. She was amazing, but yeah, I mean, she was
Death
the same.
It's an unfortunate part of life, but
had like sort of, she didn't die because of dementia, but she'd had a stroke for it like a couple of years beforehand, lost the ability to communicate. So it was just a gradual thing, but yeah, she was massive loss for me. It was also, so I don't often believe in, all of that sort of thing. But the day my nan passed, so she passed at it was like early in the morning. It was like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. My dad called me, and I had the day off of work the next day. But then that night, we found out that, my ex-wife was pregnant, and we were going to have Rory. So it was like,
Jesus, what a
just
whirlwind!
This, like, it was a whirlwind of emotions, but it was like, sort of, I don't know, sort of made it easier in a way.
I guess so, because it's like life is weird, isn't it? How it starts and ends and all that kind of stuff, and I guess the what's the word? Just there's some kind of underlying message in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't like,
grief is weird though, isn't it? Grief is a really weird, great, and it hits. No one really gets. You get like told about these things as you grow up and all that kind of stuff. Like, it'll happen. You don't really know how everyone reacts so differently. Like, I was told, it was earlier. Like, we went and kind of were told, like, Pa's not doing so great. You should probably go down to Adelaide and see him, because it might be the last time. So that was on a Friday. It was like late in the afternoon, and we went up, me and my sister, and seen him and whatever. And we're like, that's probably going to be the last time we've seen him, but we didn't really know There was no like timeline, you know what I mean? It was just like it was approaching, it was happening. And then on early hours of the Monday after that, so weird how this happens, and it, you know, some people call it coincidence. I don't necessarily believe it was. It happened for a reason, but I had woke up early hours of the morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I was like, I just can't fall back asleep for whatever reason. There was nothing. It wasn't like that was on my mind. I just could not fall back asleep. So it was like 40 minutes of like tossing and turning of just being like, I can't get back to sleep. So I messaged my sister because I was like, because she lived across the road from me at that stage. And I was just like, the chances of you being awake right now is very slim, but like by any chance that you're awake, like, can I come over and just like crash on your couch? Because I just feel a little uneasy at the moment. Don't really know why. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I woke up like 30, 40 minutes ago and I can't sleep either. And I was like, well, that's weird. We both can't. And then so as I was walking across to her house, like it said like Shaylee is typing, and then she'd said, oh my God, like Dad's just messaged me and passed. And I'm like, that's so weird how we both couldn't sleep, and then he's kind of like died in that time. And then I thought I was being like a horrible human being, because when I was told, I didn't instantly like cry or felt sad. I was just kind of like, I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like I felt like the biggest piece of shit in the world, because I was just like, all right, cool. And then like I just kind of went about my day. And like and then all of a sudden, like that night I was on my own, and it just like hit me, and I was like, what the hell's going on now? And then it was like, it's not like just like this sad feeling, it's just like this wave of emotions. You're like smiling in it's so odd. And it just like the initial kind of grief happens, and then all of a sudden it just stops, and there's no real like, it could be in 4 days, it could be 5. It's just like the weirdest feeling, and then you have to go through all the funeral and all that kind of stuff, and that's never fun. But yeah, grief is a very weird emotion that you get told about, but you don't. There's no real like textbook on that shit. Like it's so different for every person. But I mean, I know, again, like I really haven't dealt with grief other than that time, and I was 24, 25, like when he passed away. Like that's a long time in your life to go without really experiencing that feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a shock to you that I handle it the same way that I sort of handle everything. Like,
yeah, sure, but I mean, there has to be a point of view that's just like internally, that's just like, oh shit.
Not really. I like to, especially with Nan. She was such a, I wrote a eulogy for a funeral, but I got my cousin to read it because I couldn't read it. And I sort of said in there that if my childhood was a GPS, Nan would be my 0.00. She was like always exactly there. Like, Jesus, she lived in the same house that my dad grew up in. But she moved in like 1957, and she lived there until she went into a home like in maybe 2013.
Yeah, right. That was
so like
yours the spot.
She had the same routine every week. It was like, that was like, I moved around a lot as a kid to different states or whatever, but like Nan's house was always very constant. So I like to think of more like that thing. So like, I don't think, whenever I think about it, I think of like all the good things. So I'm not like, there wasn't ever really any bad times or anything like that with Nan. So it was like, it's always quite happy to remember her. Like the one thing that I'm, that does sort of, I don't think it upsets me, but it's like a bit of a bummer, is that she was like, there was only she was very proud of our last name and like being part of it. And there's me, and I've got one other cousin that's going to be able to continue our last name. Out of all of my cousins, which I've got plenty of them, she had 4 girls and 2 boys. So there was only 2 of us that could keep passing it down. And like, she didn't get to meet Rory and know that that was going to happen. Like, and that would have been such a big thing for her. But that it is what it is, you know.
That's unfortunately life.
Yeah, but you know, I like
operates.
to think about all those things. Like the time that when I was living with her, me and my best mate at the time, we were inseparable. We did everything together. He stayed at my house one night, and we'd slept in the morning because we'd been out the night before. And Nan, who was like, wouldn't have been much taller than you, and like would have been. No, I don't even think she would. She would have been about your height, maybe a bit smaller. And she was like, at the time, she would have been like 80, 70 or 80, in between that age. And we were like 16. And she grabbed my mate by the ankles in the bed and just ripped him out the bottom of the bed.
Jesus.
And was like, get up. Why are you guys sleeping so much? And he was just like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah, well, I probably would be the same. It is interesting though, with like, I think of mainly happy times and happy thoughts. I mean, there's always going to be those few times where you're just like, ooh, he's not here. Because there was like, I think, like you said, how she didn't get to meet Rory. I think my biggest one is that, like, because Pa was so instrumental to me as a teenager, and that's probably your most impressionable years as a kid. It's like you're growing up and, you know, learning the ways about life, and he taught me so much. Is that his dementia was too bad when I came out, so he really, I don't really know if it ever registered with him, even though I told him. I don't know if his brain really understood what I was saying, and you know, that to me is always the biggest, like, I'm just like, I never regret waiting as long as I did to be ready to tell, but I wish that I was able to tell him a little sooner, just so that he knew. I really don't think that I don't think it really registered with him. I still, to this day, his funeral funerals suck. They're not meant to be fun at all or anything like that. They're horrible. Like, they just suck. And I was pretty good. Like, I was I sat with my cousin, who's basically the same age as me. We're pretty much the same person. I sat with her, and just kind of like held her tight. And I was doing all right, like, you know, going through all of that stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know what it came over. I just was like, I'm going to be the strong one here that's not going to cry. Like, that's fucking matters at a funeral. But then, still to this day, if I hear A Little Further North by Graham Connors, that's the song that played. That was my grandpa's favorite song. If I hear that song to this day, I just will lose it, because that's what played. And then there was pictures of us all together, and there's just little triggers, I guess, that go on your brain that you can't help. But yeah, I don't know. I don't, yeah, like I said, it's just a weird feeling that I've had today of just his presence around me and stuff like that. And I guess there always is that little thing of just like, you know, I'm sure you feel it in a sense with your nan, but like, you do hope that they're like proud of who you are today and stuff like that, of just of the person you or the parent you are or whatever. And I guess I guess you don't really know. You know, but you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's some days that I still wish I could talk to my pa. Do you know what I mean? Like, I miss my pa. But yeah, death is it's the one thing we all have in common, isn't it? We're all going to die, and not being morbid, definitely. But we all share that. We all are going to die at some stage, and I don't know. I guess you can look at it how you look at it. There's some days I look at it and it frightens me. And I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be a day that I'm not alive. But then there's other days of just like, oh, well, you know, live the life that you have. Because as cliche as it is to say, it could be over tomorrow. You don't know.
Yeah. I should I actually been thinking about it now. I got a couple more stories about my nan because she was hilarious, but like I don't know. So my cousins, so in the generations of the family of like my nan and then my dad's brothers and sisters and then cousins, I'm not the youngest because I've got younger siblings, but the oldest one, my oldest cousin on the same lineage as me, is 2 years younger than my dad because there was a big age gap in his
Oh, right.
siblings.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's got kids my age. Like her kids grew up with me, even though they're my second cousins. They grew up as my cousins because we were the same age. So another one of my cousins who is only like 8 years older than me was having an engagement party. We were all at this engagement party. Now, I've always, when I've grown up, I've been a little bit forgotten in a way, not in a bad way, but like my sisters were always quite ill as kids. So they had to go do whatever with that. And I was just fine. I didn't like my sister that's got the same mum and dad as me. She had difficulties, not major ones, but like that mum needed to put a bit more time into. And I just didn't. Everything sort of came a bit easier to me. So I sort of not pushed aside as in they didn't love me enough, but like, yeah, he'll deal with himself because I could. But Nan was like, she never was like that at all. I was like her golden child. I could do nothing wrong. I could do like, it was clear that I was her favorite by a long shot. And everyone else was like, no, people don't have favorites. But we were at this engagement party and Tracy, I'm going to name her, who's the eldest one of my cousins, was like, went and got a bar stool, and because it was at like a hotel somewhere, put it down. Here you go, Nan. I got your bar stool. And I said, oh, you're trying to steal my favorite status. And Tracy said, yeah, right. I'm her first grandchild. There's like, I'm always going to be the favorite. And Nan scoffed and went, oh, like you could ever get close to him.
Oh my God. That's great.
So she would like openly tell people that I was like, and my other cousins who were also her grandkids, that I was her favorite grandkid.
Oh God. My grandpa was not, I don't know. I don't know if he had a favorite, but I think it's hard for between I have a relatively small family of like cousins that I really know. I have like two of like first cousins. Like I'm sure there's more, but like first cousins and stuff like that. I always feel like Pa loved. So there was three boys and two girls. I always feel like Pa loved the girls more. He just did. But I think that's just because they were younger too. Like he was like, they're his grandbabies. So like he always, but that was just my Pa. And my Pa gave us everything. He was one of those Pas that if you went up and like you went to Mum and was like, Mum, I need $10. Mum would be like, no, go away. And you'll go to Pa and be like, I need $10, and he'd give you 20. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And like he was the Pa that always had like chocolate around and like, oh your mother said no, but here you go anyway. Like it was always like go to Pa. Where like my nan still is a hard ass. Like she is so strict on everything. She would just tell you to fuck off. Like that was my nan. But my Pa was the biggest softie. He like joked around a lot, but he was such a softie with everything. Yeah, but I always feel like I've never been the favorite child of anything. Grandchild, child. I'm the middle child. I don't get shit.
Yeah, I was definitely the favorite grandchild, but like It was, Nan used to make all the cakes and it'd be like straight into Nan's, give her a hug and a kiss, and then go straight to the fridge, see what she got.
That's
But
my
then,
pa, in a
like,
sense.
at her 70th birthday, we had this big, like, everyone came to her 70th birthday out the backyard of her place. And they were making a photo wall of her. But she made one off to the side of me.
Oh my God. Yes, you're definitely her favorite. Jesus.
Yeah, I was definitely the favorite. And then, like, even that day, like, she used to make the best cream puffs, like
Yum.
pastry with cream inside, and you just absolutely gorge yourself on them. But because she made them so fresh, once you'd had enough, when you threw them at other cousins, as soon as they'd hit, they'd explode with cream because they were like crispy on this.
Yeah, right.
So I started a bloody cream puff fight at the back of the 70th party. Jesus. And I still had the photo wall. I was still the favorite.
Jesus. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're one of those favorite. You can't do anything wrong. It was never your fault.
No, not at all.
And not to change the subject, because we've been talking about something so depressing, but you know bots on Twitter or bots on Instagram that like are like you know, OnlyFans bots
link
and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Link in bio bots. Someone liked a comment that I put on Twitter. Their profile name is Bacon Tits. What does that even mean? And then the bio to it, it's no, it is adult page, content creator, meetup info, DM for booking, unblock fee $50. What the fuck? Bacon Tits.
Bacon Tits.
Yeah.
One for the pork lovers out there.
I do love bacon. But I don't love tits.
No. I reckon we should just wrap it there today.
Okay.
Almost 50. I don't have much left in me today.
Neither do I.
All that depressing talk.
Yeah, it was a bit of a I don't even know what I was going to say. Just a bit of a down day, I guess.
Yeah. All right. A2O podcast on all your social medias, X, Twitter if you're nasty, and Instagram. Go follow us there and like all of our stuff. Spotify and Apple Podcasts is where you'll find us to listen. But if you're listening to this, you've already found us. So just tell a friend where you found us. Hit like, hit follow, leave a 5-star review, leave a comment if you can. That would really help us out. And go follow Josh on YouTube, Josh Robertson00. That's where you find our video versions and all his other video content. Also follow him on your social media, Josh Robinson00, for everything else.
You did well.
That was a better one.
Yeah, that was a better one than although you did forget one thing.
Okay. What did I forget?
You forgot to say it also on TikTok. We also have a TikTok.
On TikTok.
A2O podcast on TikTok. Because I put up clips every week, and weirdly enough, they get really wildly viewed. I don't really know why. But whatever. Go follow us on TikTok. I do like the Clock app. It's a good time.
Yes, I do like TikTok.
I'm getting roasted on TikTok at the moment because, as you could imagine, I put up a TikTok. Well, I stitched a TikTok of some person, and he was like, it was just like a reporter going around being like, asking men like, how do you make women feel safer? And this one guy said, I'm a gay man, so therefore I don't need to think about it. And I was like, girl, what the fuck is that mentality? And then now I've got all these people in my TikTok comments, or I've got men, I should say, in my TikTok comments saying, I would respect women if they would respect me. Eat the dick, you fuckheads. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my in my TikTok comments at the moment. So, of course, what am I dealing with? No offense, Ray. Horrible straight men. The worst species.
I mean, yeah.
White men. Shitheads. Oh my god, it's going zzz, zzz. I'm not even gonna look at it, I don't care. Alright, cool. Well, all right. Let's wrap this one up. See you later, bitches.
Juices, oozes. Alright.